have Patriot, and of course Intel, who can forget them, with our broadcasting partner Twitch as well. So many thanks to the sponsors that make this event possible. Let's go into game number 1 now without any further ado between Ninja and Oz.
All right, it's time. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our players?
All right, guys, so map number 1 is going to be Daybreak, and we have potentially the best of 3 series of the open bracket here. Let's see who is going to be pulling it off. In the top right position is the blue Protoss player representing Fnatic Raid Call. We have, ladies and gentlemen, Oz, who is going to be going up against the red Zerg player in the bottom left-hand corner, I believe representing Team Immunity.
Oh, is he on Immunity now?
I think he's on Immunity, unless I check Wikipedia wrong. I'm pretty sure he's joined Team Immunity, but feel free to correct me if I got that one wrong, guys. But the important thing is, can he defeat his Korean opponent? We have Ninja.
Yeah. When I was down in Australia, I don't think he was on Immunity at the time. I remember Mafia was, but... now
just
you got me a little bit confused.
No, I might just be wrong, and he might just be on Frey. So let me just double check that he is on Frey, actually. So my apologies for that. Got my notes a little bit mixed up, but no worries. And
look at this,
really
it's already
excited.
equals to 0. All right, there we go, 0-0. So
at least it's not divide, man.
No, yeah, no, I guess that would crash the game probably. All right, so you know, Ninja, he's super young, very talented. Almost made some big-time upsets at the Australian Nationals, and that was a lot of fun. You know, everyone did not take him lightly. And in fact, you know, they have so many strong players down there that no one really knows about, that a lot of them play on the Korean server, get to very high skill levels. You know, and that's kind of, it's a sad but interesting thing about how the Australians play on the Korean server, because yeah, it's kind of laggy,
yes,
right?
Of course.
But the thing is, when you live in Australia, everything's kind of laggy, right?
That's
so
kind of true,
as well.
actually, yeah.
But I'm excited to see how he can do here. And you were saying it might be the best match in the open bracket.
I think it's possible.
I think it might be. I have to put Mafia versus Lucifron above that. I do personally, right?
Is that guaranteed to happen?
In my eyes, it is.
In your eyes, okay. Because like, if they both go through to the finals without seeing each other, that is possible, right? We don't.
Yeah, they each have one match before they would face each other. In the open
oh,
bracket.
okay. Yep, sure. So unless one of them unexpectedly gets knocked down to the lower bracket, we'll see them in the winner bracket. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
that's a good point. Really good matchup there.
Yeah. All right. All right. Now, taking a look at this game, it's pretty standard so far. Oz throwing up that cannon nice and quick. He doesn't know really probably anything about his opponent here. Okay, realistically speaking, Oz has no idea who Ninja is. He may have possibly looked him up online and saw that he's an Australian player that's a Zerg, something like that. But I'm pretty darn certain he did not dig through VODs to find out who he is.
Yeah, Oz, from what I understand, you'll know this better than me actually, Artos, is Oz he really likes to prepare for his opponents and really get his game plan down, and the open bracket in that regard at least is probably going to frustrate him a little bit, because he's playing against a whole bunch of guys that he wouldn't necessarily, as you mentioned, have watched the VODs off or stuff like that, and Ninja is likely to be his biggest threat in that regard. So Oz is probably going to, I would say at least in game number 1, he's going to play it super standard and see if he can just outplay his opponent with better mechanics before trying something tricky, maybe?
I think that's what Oz should be doing, but unfortunately, he's only gotten 1 gas. And if he doesn't throw up another gas really soon... Now, Oz makes his own weird build orders all the time. He's one of the most creative Protosses that there is. But when you keep 1 gas this long, generally speaking, you're going to do, like, a 7-gate immediately. And we'll see how much he actually ends up chronoing on his Cybernetics core. But that's, with 1 gas, that's what you would expect. Sometimes I've seen people take a 3rd base off of this, but we're talking crazy talk. But it is Oz, so it could be.
So he could just make a bunch of gateways and use that to try and defend a 3rd, perhaps?
He could. He could. There's, you know, Oz is like the guy that has invented all the 1 gateway, 3 Nexus builds. So
well, there it is.
There you go. There you have it. Haven't seen this in a long time, and he throws up Stargate. Okay, so this is actually This is a build that he made a long time ago, but he's changed it a little bit. This is interesting. He has actually changed his build up some, because it used to be with 2 gas, and you go right into Void Ray and all that. But anyways, let's take a look at this little pressure he's doing.
Oh, and here we go. We have the Zealot and the Stalker going to be trying to take out the Queen. They're actually sending a lot of drones here as Ninja to see if he can get a surround off on that Stalker. But unfortunately, the DPS is going to be a bit too much. The Zealot actually gets the last hit on that Queen. The drones do manage to surround the Zealot. Good micro there to try and prevent the drones going down. Number of workers killed at the moment in this game, guys. 1. Yeah. So the Queen does go down. A little bit of pressure there, but I really want to say, what 6 star sense from Ninja. The moment Oz put down the 3rd, there was a Ling there. And then the Overlord went into the main, sees the Starport, and Stargate rather, and sees that it's making a Void Ray almost as soon as Oz did it. So Ninja has full information now on Oz.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on. He's using this pretty cool style of getting 1-1 for Zerglings as well as speed. I don't think he's going to be going for many roaches this game, likely. But I like what I'm seeing, man, actually, from both these players. Oz did a great job using that pressure to keep Ninja off his back, did enough damage with it to make it worthwhile. He's setting up his standard little cannon wall at his 3rd base, where it makes it so Lings are going to have a very hard time actually hurting you. Now, Ninja actually isn't over responding to this. I feel like he may have seen this before. Oz has done this in the past with some great Zerg, so he may have watched those VODs to try to learn and saw that, oh, okay, against this, what don't I do? Well, I don't just randomly make a ton of Lings and try to attack. But what he is doing is making that quick 3rd, and Oz is going to harass that with his Void Rays.
And here we go. So taking his 4th base in the central location here is Ninja. He did see at the Watchtower that the Void Ray is going down across the bottom of the map, and if there's one mistake I've seen him do, maybe he's not pulling this Overlord back, because he had about 30 seconds worth of notice on the bottom of the map. The Void Ray is going to get it. And we have a 2nd Void Ray now at the Watchtower. We'll be picking off the Zergling there. There we go. Both the Overlord and the Zergling crumble pretty quickly there. We have a Macro Hatch going up in addition to the 4th at the same time. A bunch of Spore Crawlers going down as Oz goes for his Twilight Council.
Well, this 4th base is actually not going to make it. He doesn't have enough Queens to actually defend against 3 Void Rays, let alone this little army. And this is exactly how Oz does this. If you take a 4th base against his quick 3-base build, he'll come down here just like that. You actually have to go for a lot of Queens as well, and that has not been what Ninja has gone for. So he will force a cancel here. There you go. There's the cancel. So it's a good cancel by Ninja. I'm glad he didn't try to defend that.
No, he really didn't have the units to do it. We did see some roaches in the production tab, but last time I checked, Artosis, they don't do so well against those Void Rays. And at the end of the day, he has good static defense, so the Void Rays aren't going to be harassing in the main base or anything like that, but he doesn't have the resources he needs to deal with Oz's more mobile army at the moment in time.
Well, you know, right here, we're in a funny place because Oz has his 3 bases up. He's got his infrastructure going down. He's going to start Colossus production. He's got great upgrades. Now, you want 4 bases as Zerg against that, but to keep it out there, Ninja went up to almost 80 drones really quickly, which is nice. His economy is really strong. It is better than Oz's economy at the moment. And, you know, even though he had to cancel that 4th base, he's got good upgrades. So he's kind of keeping up, even though he doesn't have exactly the base count you want. But that's what Oz's build is designed to do, to protect him from letting you get that's a terrible way to say that, but his build is designed to get up his quick 3rd base, punish you if you try to kill him off real quick, and then also punish you if you try to get a quick 4th base. And he's done exactly that, but Ninja is not dead and out yet.
That's right. I mean, I guess another way of saying that would be maybe Oz once. Obviously, Zergs don't want to be on equal bases with Protoss, right? They always want to be 1 base ahead. So this is Oz's way of trying to keep a Zerg opponent on the same number of bases him and really start to make them feel uncomfortable. And not only in the long term do Protosses feel safe doing that, but maybe Zergs who are intimidated by this kind of thing might go, oh no, I need to really quickly take a base, and keep trying to do it, and it starts goading them into mistakes.
Indeed. Well, look at this. A lot of Zealots going up to hit this base. That's quite unfortunate as well.
Ooh,
he stalled out that 4th base once again. That's bad for Ninja, I have to admit. That's going to make it a lot harder for him here. Now, Oz is switching into double Robo Colossus. So he has his Spire. He has this Hive almost done. But he's going to have to get out a lot of Corruptors pretty darn soon here. Between the 3 Void Rays and soon-to-be 3 Colossus, he doesn't have what he needs to defend.
He's got 8 on the way, and the Great Aspire has just started as well. Very, very vulnerable, of course, Zerg, at this point of the game, when the Great Aspire is still morphing. But fortunately, that supply taken up in those Corruptors, of course, they're not going to be wasted. He needs them against the Void Rays, like you mentioned, Artosis. The Colossi coming out as well, going to be incredibly useful against them. In fact, 10 now on the way, +2 attack has just started as well for those missile attacks, trying to bait some force fields out of Oz in the middle of the map. They're successfully doing so. Oz with this army, he only has 3 sentries. If Ninja has a lot of lings, is that going to be a problem?
Well, you know, with this many Colossus, that's not really the problem. I think the problem is if Ninja, you know, gets his roaches up to him, if he doesn't hit those 3 sentries, force fields, and guardian shields just right, the roaches can do a lot of damage. So that's going to be what he's scared of a little bit more. But right now, Ninja has maxed out, basically, right? He's got some pretty seriously good upgrades. He's getting his spine crawlers. If he can get these spine crawlers out and get some broodlords, he's going to be in pretty good shape, even though his 4th base is so late. You can play kind of a turtley, slow-based style on a map like Daybreak, where you can actually cut the map in half and turtle so well as Zerg.
Oh, and here we go. 34 Zerglings on the way for Ninja, immediately going to maxed out. I love that he's staying on top of his upgrades so well. I've seen so many Zergs play almost in all matchups, really, where after a while you're starting to focus on remaxing out, and you kind of stall out just a little bit on your Evo chambers, but he's been really on top of it. A nice fungal, not a huge engagement going on at the moment. The Corruptor's trying to pick up a little bit.
Oh, he almost got the chain fungals down on those sentries. That would have been really nice. Those sentries have a lot of energy. That would have been very important. Doesn't quite get it, though. Now we do have Broodlords on the way, but the battle is beginning, and these Colossi are going to be very powerful. I don't know if Ninja has quite enough right now. If this battle was taking place a minute from now, I think he'd hold it with ease, but as is, he's taking a lot of damage. 5
Broodlords on the way, but they are taking their sweet time to pop out here, about 5 seconds away. The problem is the rest of the army is disintegrating. Some transfuses from the Queens, infested Terrans to try and bait this army back and just keep Oz from trying to stomp him here. And it looks like Oz will back off in the face of those Broodlords, but Ninja doesn't have as much energy on his infestors as he did before. No longer has that ground army. He's down to 147 supply now versus the 170 for Oz.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing you said about infestors, that's really important here. He actually lost a lot of those as well. With only 4 left over, you know, he's got 5 broods, 2 corruptors. He's making some more broods, but really he needs more infestors than what he has now. That's going to be an issue. Now, we do have this huge Ling attack going down. No. I don't think this is going to work out like he wants.
If those... Okay, we do have the other engagement coming in here, and the Stalkers blinking in. We have got a fungal down on the Stalkers, but frankly, it's not going to be enough. I don't think the ground army has enough meat here to really pop out. Okay, the Lings coming in as well might just be enough, but the Colossi can start focusing them down, and Oz has a huge foothold here at the 4th base. And the one thing I wanted to say about the run-by against the 4th there, Artosis, I think if Ninja just right-clicked the Nexus, he could probably have gotten it before the Zealots warping in.
Perhaps,
but it wouldn't matter so much.
Yeah, it matters neither here nor there. I mean, at this point, Ninja does not quite have enough left, but I have to say he's played actually a very good game here. This is a difficult build to play against. You need specific practice against this build, and in fact, all the games that Oz has ever done this, no one reacted 100% correctly. So, you know, GG. Oz takes it, but Ninja just showed a ton of skill in that game. He really did. That was solid play by Ninja overall. And I think Oz is probably surprised. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Because even though there wasn't, right, Ninja didn't stop him really dead in his tracks at any points. Didn't do any damage or anything. But you know, as a player like Oz, he's probably expecting to roll through everyone with that build in this open bracket of this tournament. But to hit someone that you don't really know and have them do that well, he's got to look at that and say, oh wow, if I was like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes late on this attack, he holds 100% and doesn't lose all those infestors, and I don't gain an overwhelming advantage.
Well, the thing was, it really was that close. I mean, imagine if those 5 Broodlords were out on the map at the time that attack first took place. Yeah. Imagine if he got that chain fungal on those sentries before the attack even took place. A second and a third fungal against that clump of units would have changed the entire course of that game.
It could have.
I mean, Ninja...